but in 1 year, he went a 10x his income. Do you guys see that that's possible? Anybody agree that that's possible? Say yes. I didn't hear you. Does anybody agree they could 10x their income? Say yes. Okay.
So I grew up in Wisconsin. Both my parents were engineers, and so I grew up, into math. They were always like, be an engineer, you'll make tons of money, support your family, get a good job, and so I went to engineering school at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and got my degree in aerospace engineering. It took about 5 years, and I moved down to Central Illinois, Peoria, to work for Caterpillar. And so this is my first introduction to the ladder, right? You have the corporate ladder. And so I took my first step up onto the corporate ladder. I was at the climbing gym, because that's what I like to do, and I met my now roommate, Austin. He's actually here right now, and we started hanging out during COVID and playing disc golf together, and I'm over at his grandma's house one day, because he was living in his grandma's basement at the time and serving, and I see a check for $2,000 sitting on his counter, and I'm like, bro, where'd you get that? And he goes, yeah, these two guys came into my work, and they start throwing shit at me, and I start throwing it right back, and they invited me to come interview with them and work this job knocking doors and selling solar. And I'm like, what the hell? He's like, yeah, and I knocked my first door, and they bought the largest system that we could sell at the time, and this is my front end check. And I'm like, hold on, bro. You're telling me it took you 5 minutes to make $2,000? I'll try it out. So I dipped my toe in, and that was my first step up onto the solar ladder, which you'll see is maybe slightly bigger, maybe a little easier, and maybe a little quicker to climb. And so for about 3 months, I did CAT full-time, changed up my schedule so I could go knock doors in the afternoon and evening, and I figured, this ain't half bad. I actually don't mind doing this. And I call up my parents one day, I'm like, Dad, I think I'm gonna leave engineering behind to knock doors. And he's like, son, what the hell are you doing? That's not a job, that's a gig. Don't.
Anyone relate to that story right there? Yeah? Okay,
yeah,
any parents?
Exactly.
Okay.
And, I worked my whole life to get into this engineering job, and, I'm just gonna leave it all behind for this knock, like, go away. But I loved it, and after a long, drawn-out conversation with one of my mentors at the time, he said, you can't do both, bro, because I don't know if you guys can see this, but it don't work. I'm gonna be doing the splits here pretty soon, so it was the hardest decision I ever made, but I decided to take the step over here. And I will say, Sam asked me to talk about why, and I ran the numbers. I figured knocking doors for a year, I ran them like 40 times, engineering, right? I figured knocking doors for a year, minimum I'm gonna make is $40,000. I figured my upper limit, not really knowing this industry that well, was $450,000. So I will tell you guys, my first year we moved out to a tough market, started up a new company. I made $27,000.
Some of you guys are sitting here in this room, and you may be right there. You're like, why the hell did I quit that when I'm now making this? And they said I could make maybe $450,000, and I haven't made a dime in the last 6 months.
We moved back to Illinois, where we had a bit of our reputation still built up because their programs opened back up. I made my first self-gen sale in Illinois. I actually fucked it up so bad that I didn't make a dime on it. We gave the guy a free generator. That man has sent me 8 referrals now. Just got another one today.
Nice.
And so I started running leads for the company around February. I think we did 44 accounts in Illinois, and I did 8 or 9 of them. By the end of July, I'd done 40, 50 accounts myself. Fast forward all the way to the end of the year, and I had made $250,000 in the Illinois market in my second year selling solar.
Okay, guys, think about this. 10x his income. He's like, holy shit, this sucks. Stayed with it. 10x his income. Like, where in Caterpillar can you be like, give me a 10x raise? That ladder would have been a 20-year ladder. Maybe could have he made 450 if he stayed at 20 years at Caterpillar? Yeah, maybe. If he killed somebody and that guy and that guy and that guy. But in 1 year, he went a 10x his income. You guys see that that's possible? Anybody agree that that's possible? Say yes. I didn't hear you. Does anybody agree they could 10x their income? Say yes. Okay.
Fast forward to, I guess we're not fast forwarding anymore. This was January of 2023.
Door-to-Door Con last year, guys. Who was here last year? Yeah? Woo. Okay, cool.
I come to Door-to-Door Con and Sam does his presentation on Saturday, and I got all inspired and hot and bothered, and I ran up on stage and I grabbed one of these red folders and I joined the Elite Mastermind and started on these monthly calls and started competing with the greats like Scott and Adam over here. They inspired the shit out of me all year long. I went to the closers school in Las Vegas. I went to the sales boot camp, and let me tell you, the sales boot camp that Sam runs is one of the best solar trainings I've ever been to. Watching Ashton Buswell speak, I think he's in here too, but my whole office uses his clothes now. And this year, come the end of the year, I finally actually did hit my 450,000 mark.
Let's go!
And I just want a huge shout out to Sam because he has been the biggest inspiration, and everything that comes out of this man's mouth is gold.